With all of the wonderful power of hindsight, here is what I would do if I started now. Welcome back to Making Everyday Magic. My name is Shanna, and if you are new here, we are a homeschooling family of 4, and this is our 8th year of homeschooling. I recently had somebody ask me, what would you recommend if you started right now? So I thought this would make a fantastic video. So here we go, guys. Here's what I would do if I were starting right now. Before we go any further, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. As always, you can find me right on down in the comments or over on Instagram at Making Everyday Magic. I got this question recently. I put out the call for like Q&A, ask me anything, and I thought this was such a fantastic question, there's no way I could answer this if it were inside of another video. So I was like, you know what, let's do it. Let's look, let's think about it. Let's sit in a quiet minute and reflect. If I were starting now with all of the hard-earned, sometimes painfully earned knowledge that I have in my pocket, if I were to start now, what would I choose? What would I buy? What would I invest in? So here we go. Are you ready? I'm going to start with early. So I think it's important. And when I am saying this, these aren't things we didn't do. They're just things I would be sure to do. So like if I had it all to start over again, if I zap back in time 10 years, what would I do? This is what I would do. And I would be sure that we're laying the foundation for learning. And what I mean by that, it's not just helping them, point out letters when you see them, or helping them count, or the little things like that are really important for learning. But it is, and these are things that and I'm not saying we didn't do them, but I've just seen them be something that is incredibly valuable to the world. Teaching our children patience, teaching them to be bored, teaching them to sit still, teaching them to wash their hands, teaching them to respect others, teaching them to listen, so that if my child is hurtling at full speed toward a street and I yell that name, in mom tone, in the tone, they stop dead in their tracks. Teaching them to go down the slide, teaching them to be risk takers safely at parks and things like that, to not be paralyzed of that fear, to help them know how to dress their bodies, how to take care of their bodies, the things that they need to do, teach them how to try new foods. So those are all things that I would do if I were starting over again, to really lay the foundation for later learning, teaching them how to do chores, teaching them appropriate routines for their day, how to get up and get going, making the bed. So those things that I don't think enough people focus on when it comes to teaching your little people how to learn, teaching them how to be big people, because one day they will be big people. So teaching them to be, a little adventurous in the kitchen and things like that. The importance of recycling. Those are all things that if I were laying the foundation for what we do now, those are the things that I think would be really important. Especially as homeschoolers, they don't always know how to sit still and be patient and wait their turn and ask questions and wait in a line and things like that. And those things are important. So that's what I would do. I would also embrace open-ended play. So Legos, blocks, coloring, puzzles, learning games and apps that are, of course, age appropriate, but also not just, it's really easy these days, I think, to just pour garbage into our kids. And I think there's a lot of stuff out there that is garbage that's going into our kids. So focusing on things that are much, much better. So things that we love, little learning apps, number blocks, and teach your monster to read, reading with our children, and not just reading where they are. So it's not just See Spot Run, also reading larger classic literature books and things like that. Getting them outside to play, and not just when the weather's perfect. Teaching them that, either way, we're going outside, we're going to have a great time. Getting them on trips to the zoo, and not, this is a pet peeve of mine. Oh, look, a monkey. I'm like, okay, but that's a chimpanzee. Teaching them how to find the information that they need, even if they can't read the sign themselves. So little things like that, I think, are a really, really, really big deal. Cleaning up after yourself, putting your trash in the bin, all of that to lay the foundation for what is coming later. Now, let's get into those actual subjects because I'm pretty sure that's what you meant. But jumping into what I would use, I broke it down by subject because I think that would be the easiest way to do it. So let's go. I do have my list over here if you see my head whipping back and forth. Let's start with the big ones, okay? We're gonna go language arts. If I were starting now, if somebody else handed me a child and I just had to start buying it homeschool curriculum, I would start with all about reading and I would use all the levels. All 5 levels, because there's 4 official levels and then there's pre-reading. I would start at the beginning and use all the way through level 4. I would use all about spelling. I love all about spelling. And then during the 4th level of all about reading, we would incorporate, because they can read by then. I would absolutely do what we did and start with the poodle level of Michael Clay Thompson and then continue Michael Clay Thompson beyond all about reading. If I could structure my absolute perfect language arts from start to finish, it's that. And that's what I would do. For math, I would do the same thing with Math UC, but I would only take Math UC through, I don't remember which level it is, so I'll try to remember to put it right here, but the one before pre-algebra. At pre-algebra, I would swap course and choose Denison. I just like the approach much better. And had I realized that, in hindsight of having done pre-algebra last year, I can see how we would have a different outcome now had I done that then. Okay, so with my younger one, in all likelihood, I will make that switch at that kind of before middle school level math and take it that other direction. So that's in all likelihood what I will choose to do with my kids. For science, I am choosing anything fun. So for me, that means mystery science. That means Generation Genius, if you can afford that heftier price tag that it has now. That means learning physics with Legos and chemistry in the kitchen and outsourcing some of those classes. There's a lot of opportunities, especially in Houston near us. There's even things, for example, we have a downtown aquarium run by Landry's. They do marine biologists for a day and zoologists for a day on the weekends. It's like a few hours, you can pay and drop your kids off. They take them back behind the scenes. And for a marine biologist for a day, my youngest was able to dissect a squid and like write with the ink. So cool, so worth it, so fun. Zoo camps, SeaWorld has a homeschool day. Anything fun for science is gold in my opinion. And that's exactly what we do and would continue to do. And I have done the other ways. I've done the textbooks. And when we started out, we did it according to the Texas state standards. No, fun, engaging, creates a passion for it. And that's what I'm all here about, as does history. So we like History Quest. And it's fun, it's entertaining, it's a narrative style, but also getting out, doing those field trips and graphic novels and books, and again, classic literature. Those are the things that I really think are setting our kids up for success. Anything that can be done in a fun manner, I'm gonna choose it every time. Every time. Fun learning is just better, it just is. For critical thinking, I absolutely love workbooks. You can get them on Amazon. There's all different kinds. Logic Countdown, Logic Safari, Critical Thinking Company, all kinds, Grady Kids, all kinds of things. Various kinds of puzzles and games and logic puzzles that get your kids thinking about things in a slightly different way. Just simple workbooks are so fun. And again, learning how to use a workbook is kind of a skill. That geography, skill sharpeners geography, but also letting them play with any map app. My kids absolutely love it. With a globe, with Google Earth. Carmen Sandiego is fun. Literally anything that we can do that is fun, that gives just a little bit of that seed of knowledge. I love it, kids love it, it's easy to do, and this is what we do, but also what we would do if I had it to start all over again. Art. Handing them art supplies will create some of the best things ever. Teaching them about artists, anything as far as an art class, understanding different mediums, video lessons. So like high gas fee. I know I have high gas fee. I'll link it down below if I remember, but it's always on my favorites page because people never know what I'm saying, where it is video art history about famous artists. My kids go gaga for it, absolutely gaga. And there are tons of amazing ways to teach kids about art, about artists, including music, woven melodies. When we did woven melodies from Thistles and Biscuits, where it taught about composers and the different instrument groups and got them exposed to things they wouldn't be exposed to otherwise, I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, so my last broad topic of things that I am going to commit to hard and recommend that you look at, because if I had it to start over again, I would absolutely do, for handwriting, Zahner Bloser. We didn't pick up on it until my oldest was probably in 3rd grade. But starting from the beginning, I would choose Zahner Bloser handwriting. I love it so much. I like their approach. I like the little QR codes where they can watch a little video on how to physically do it. Zahner Bloser handwriting. Kits. Kits are fun, okay? Had we not found the Timberdoodle curriculum kits, the non-religious kits, I would not have had the confidence to break out and do some of these things on my own. I wouldn't have had probably half a notion to incorporate as many games, kits, puzzles, robotics, art into our homeschool as I do now. So I truly believe that finding those Timberdoodle curriculum kits was a turning point for me, for our homeschool, for my vibe, for our philosophy, for the whole thing. So I am so thankful that we found those, and I highly recommend them to everyone, because you can piece it. So you can find and take what works for you and swap what doesn't. Now, if you can tell that there is a common theme in this entire video, it would be that had I given the opportunity to start over again, I would inject more fun, more freedom, more enjoyment earlier, faster into our homeschool, because the fun stuff is, that's where some of our best memories have come from, is the science experiments and the art projects and reading Sherlock Holmes together, and enjoy it. Just really enjoy it. You don't have to suffer a win. You can be happy in your homeschool life. Harder doesn't mean better. If I had it to do all over again, I would have gone out on my own so much faster than I did, but I know that I needed our homeschool journey to go that way to feel the confidence that I do now, 8 years on. But find what works for you. These are things that suit my kids' learning styles. And I know that now. And those are the things that are also working for us right now. And they may not forever. And it's okay to change, and it's okay to pivot, and it's okay to quit. So if anything, the moral of this story is these are things that we found that we loved. And these are things that I will be true to. And these are my ride or dies. But they might not be yours. But I hope for you, I hope for you that you find your list of things that 8 years ago homeschooling you would have just smooched you on the face for if you had handed them this list. I hope that you find your holy grail of homeschool pieces, curriculum, vibe, outlook. I wish this for you. I'm so thankful, and it comes through hard work and grit and perseverance and 8 years of doing this. I'm thankful that I have a list that I could be like, you know what? This is it. This is my perfect, precious little flower of the things that I would choose to build my homeschool if I were starting over brick by brick today. So I hope that for you. I truly, truly do. Guys, I hope that you found any of this helpful, entertaining, or informative. If you did, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. As always, you can find me right on down in the comments or over on Instagram at Making Everyday Magic.